Okay. So injured reserve. People seem to question not going on injured reserve as if you go on injured reserve and suddenly you're in the hyperbolic time chamber and you're getting better at a faster rate just for the sole fact that you're on injured reserve. No, you just free up a roster spot. So unless you need that roster spot, there is no incentive to put a player on injured reserve. Now, I think people have forgotten that, like in COVID, they made it so you had an unlimited number of IR spots that you could bring back, right? That has changed this year. You can only bring back 8 players. And so early in the season, you're like, yeah, okay, he's going to miss 6 weeks. You're going to put him on injured reserve. But now you have used 4 of those. You have Bradley Roby still on injured reserve. He's probably going to be one of them. You have Eric McCoy on injured reserve. He's probably going to be one of those too. So that means you have 6. So like if you had put Marshawn Lattimore on injured reserve, that would mean you're looking at 7 slots used when he does eventually come back. If you put everybody that everyone is complaining about on injured reserve and tried to bring them back, you would have already used all 8 return slots, or at least have accounted for them. So you would then not have any left for the last 6 weeks of the season, right? So that's why you don't put guys on injured reserve unless you need that roster spot, which that was the case with Eric McCoy, right? You needed to sign somebody to fill that spot, so you put him on injured reserve. Alante Taylor went on injured reserve, right? So you could bring up Chris Harris and sign him to the active roster. So it's not just that they're going to be out 4 weeks. It also has to coincide with we need that roster spot, because as you go down the line, you will eventually run out of spots where you can bring guys back.
To me, the whole issue with Lattimore is the fact that, man, I still don't even know if he's going to make it back for the end of the season. You know, you hear about what he's dealing with, and it just it's disturbing. It hurts, obviously, to not have your top guy out there. And you would think they would need to add more depth at the secondary anyway.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's not necessarily that you need to add depth at the specific position the guy is out at.
Sure.
You just, you know, it's really, okay, you need a roster spot. But like, you have guys inactive every week, right? Like Marquez Callaway was inactive. Like, you can only have 48 guys active on game days. So, like, if you are constantly having this person inactive, it's not a question of roster spots. Now, if you have enough people out hurt that, you know, you have to bring somebody back, I wouldn't be surprised if you see someone revert to injured reserve this week. But I'm just saying, like, it's annoying to see people constantly be like, well, why isn't he on IR? He's being out this long, because like being on IR doesn't help you recover. It's really just a calculation of roster spots.
Yeah, I would just think instead of having Marshawn just chilling, you know, you'd be able to use that empty roster spot for someone.
If you need it, you sure. But if you do that, then that's another mark in that column, right? And the NFL does that for a reason, because they don't want teams to just stash guys on IR who don't need to be there. Now, in Marshawn's case, sure, like he's going to be out a while. Maybe it would have made sense to put him on injured reserve, but the team clearly didn't feel like they needed that spot. I've seen that criticism a lot, and it's like, I think people haven't adjusted to the fact that the COVID rules have the rules have changed since COVID in terms of injured reserve and returns. And you can also elevate guys from the practice squad 3 times, and that doesn't count against your active roster limit. So that's part of it too.
Yeah, I mean, the hits just keep on coming with this squad. It's just been a lot of frustration, I think, and that's what's, you know, helped build a lot of angst, been percolating because of that.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Like, I think there's a lot of reasons you can go out and criticize this coaching staff and the front office and some of the decisions they've made. I think that's grasping at straws. Like, I think that's just looking for something to complain about.
Right.